Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Formula Virtual Racing. I'm coming to on the game. That's going to be an issue for the drive race. Oh, it's round number 1 of what should be an absolutely fabulous season. I'm don't know how I'm coming through on the game, but I'm going to try and mute this. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Well, there we go. Hopefully that's the only hiccup we have this evening, but welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 10 of Formula Virtual Racing, brought to you by Simulus Clothing. This should be an absolute cracker of a season. We start here in Las Vegas. The drivers can no longer hear me. Everything is all good, and we are getting ready to go for what should be a cracker here on the Las Vegas Strip here in the United States of America. We started our season, of course, last year in Miami. We're in a slightly different stateside location for this evening, and we are here in the brand new Las Vegas Strip circuit. Hopefully we can get the track map. There we go. There is the full track map for you, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 6.116 kilometer circuit. Whatever those may be, it is 3.8 miles, of course, and it does have a total of what I believe is 17 corners. I'm reading it off a screen in case you weren't aware, but welcome along to the stream chat, ladies and gentlemen. The chat is absolutely buzzing, and so am I, for what should be a fabulous season of Formula Virtual Racing. 16 here this evening, but the attendance, of course, will pick up throughout the duration of the season. It is, of course, still holiday season for most of Europe. The camera is also a little bit funky because I use TV Pod, and Andrew Davis getting a little bit shaky and into the wall. It is just me for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, although it does say on your graphic, of course, that Brendan is here. Unfortunately, Brendan is out earning himself some money. We don't pay him enough here in Formula Virtual Racing, seemingly, and he is out working. No, but Brendan, if you do hear this at some point, hope you keep him well. It's just myself for this evening. And speaking of people that we are being paid by, or that we're paying, I should say, big thanks to Liam Carrick, who made the on-screen overlays for this season. You can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen. That is Simulus Clothing, the new title sponsor of Formula Virtual Racing. I hope you can hear me okay, by the way, because I did not do a mic check, but qualifying is getting underway here then for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and qualifying is usually a fairly mixed up one for the season opener, and especially on a brand new circuit. You can see Leroy Van Schendel flying around the final corner, and doesn't this just look absolutely beautiful? I know on my TV screen it looks absolutely fantastic. Hope it looks great on your screens too, because this Las Vegas circuit, just with the lights, just with everything, it is absolutely fabulous. You should be able to get a very classy 1080p as well, hopefully, out of this stream, folks. I'm just checking it myself now. Yep, everything looks okay. Let's get stuck into racing then here in qualifying. It's Thomas Main who you're looking at now, the one-time Constructors' Championship. He's heading in towards the tricky left-hander, utilising that curve, hitting his apex nicely. There's going to be a couple of cars into that wall by the end of the day, I imagine. But here comes the Aston Martin then, heading down towards the final couple of corners. The final corner is technically the one onto the to the checkered flag, I should say. But this is sort of the last braking zone. Borbune setting the banker now, 132.586. There goes Thomas Main, flicking through the lefts, the rights and the lefts, and now going to try and pin the throttle grip very minimum here at this racing circuit, because it's brand new, so it's very realistic on the Formula 123 game. There goes Enrique to the top, and there goes Thomas Main with a 131.3, the main man for Aston Martin this season. Thomas goes to the top. Next across the line is going to be the runner-up last season, Lightning Luke Davies. What can he do on his banker? He's going to go purple, 131.281. Good lap that from Luke. It's going to be Leroy Van Schendel across the line next. He'll go to third, just 0.180 off of his teammate. It is the soft tyres for all drivers, but we're just taking it off the screen for qualifying, otherwise you won't be able to see the cars. The The timing tower is big and bulky. Here comes the Austrian of Enzo King then, back in the black Mercedes. There goes Enzo across the line, 4th position, just shy of the 2 Mercedes-powered Aston Martin machines. It's going to be the Alpine of Andrew Davis next across the start-finish line, but he is just starting a timed run. Believe it's going to be the AlphaTauri and Nils Hartl who will be the next man across the line. Let's see what Nils can do. The German scored podium on debut. He's going to go 6th for now, and there's a Williams behind. That's going to be Leo Toole replacing Jake Marsh. He goes to 9th position. Do let me know if you can hear everything in the stream chat, by the way, folks, because obviously I've no Brendan to play off and to confirm that I am actually being heard, so I do hope you can hear everything. Next up to cross the start finish line, it's going to be Adrian Taisha, but he is not on. Oh, apologies. Turns out I've actually been saying that wrong for his entire FVR career. It's actually Adrian Tishy, seemingly. So that's something to get used to. My goodness me, is that a difficult pit lane. Next across the start-finish line, then believe it's... I think it's everyone has completed their first couple of laps. And now we're still waiting to see times from Matthew Stotts, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Joao Victor and Andrew Davis. Thank you, Yathan. I appreciate that. Yathan currently watching the stream and competing in qualifying. He's in the Alfa Romeo for this season after a strong season in the Alpine. We're looking at Matthew Stotts, one of many American drivers once again on this Formula Virtual Racing grid. He is a reserve for this evening. He's a reserve starting off the season, but probably has ambitions of a main driver role. Here comes Stotts then, heading in towards the left-hander. Final corner, absolutely flat out. Don't know what it's like in wet conditions, haven't seen it yet. That's going to be Stotts to 6th, 9/10 of a second off pole position, and believe that's going to be Andrew Davis as well to 11th spot. He's just come into some traffic. That's the traffic of Andrew Davis, or Yathan Panguru, apologies, don't worry Yathan. He was not on a time. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer then, FVR Season 9 Rookie of the Year. He finished 3rd in the Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers standings and picked up that Rookie of the Season, beating Dara Smith. Lewis McWilliam has completed his first lap, and unlike the Season 9 Championship, Lewis actually behind Luke Davies by a small margin. Remember, Luke won the opening 2 rounds of Season 9. He won in Miami and in Paul Ricard, 2 races that weren't really of Lewis's high standards, I suppose you could say. But he is, I should say, Lewis is looking to be the first man to win 4 Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers titles. That's not going to be easy. That's not going to be easy to do, especially on the new game. That's a front wing end plate from Yathan Panguru's Alfa Romeo in front, I believe. But here comes Jurgensmeyer then, down one of many straights here at the Las Vegas Strip. Gonna pick up a bit of a toe. Oh, Yathan didn't think he was gonna move there. That was a bit sketchy from Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, but he avoided nevertheless, braking for the left and the right. This is turn 15 or 14, 15 and 16 I should say, turn 17 being the uphill left-hander. Here comes Jurgensmeyer then, entering in towards the final corner. It's the 31-2 to beat. It's got to be a 32-9 for Jurgensmeyer. He slots in behind Andrew Davis. Not the best time from Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. What can Joao Victor do as he heads in towards the left-hander? We will get the corner number spot on eventually. There is no corner names, so unfortunately we don't have that to play off. But here comes Joao Victor then, entering in towards 14, 15 and 16. It's going to be a real heavy braking zone. I imagine in the race it could be quite sketchy. Actually touched that outside wall. Heading in towards the left-hander then of turn 16, Joao Victor. He has a 31-2 to beat. It's his teammate who's currently on pole, as Aaron McFall will make an introduction. Here comes Joao Victor. He's going to go to 13th position, and that will be a decent run for Joao, but he is 1.7 off pole position. Aaron McFall is a main driver for this season, somehow. Yeah, I know. He is in the AlphaTauri, and his main car is still available, I believe. It is Aaron McFall and Nils Hartl for AlphaTauri. Thomas Main and Luke Davies both on qualifying laps. Here comes Main, entering in towards the itsy-bitsy middle sector. It is very awkward through here. It's a high-speed left-hander, and then you've got to just pin the brakes perfectly. That's Joao Victor in front, not Luke Davies. Davies behind on the track, not directly behind. Nils Hartl being the car directly behind. But here comes Thomas then, going to open up the rear wing. You can see, look at the drift marks out of there. I'm not sure if we had a demonstration before this. I know it's big hype for the season, but I'm not sure what was going on before then. In towards the left-hander of turn 13. Here comes Thomas Main. Let's just listen to this Aston Martin roar down the straight. Such a long back straight, but Thomas Main is lapping fairly quickly. Here comes the Aston Martin into the left and the right. Slick through there from the Belgian, you gotta say, but here comes Main, entering in towards the left-hander now of turn 17. Is this going to break the times and go purple? It is. It's going to be provisional pole position for Thomas Main. Can Luke beat that? Luke 0.044 up, which I believe you can still see. Yep, the Simulus logo, not blocking it. Here comes Luke Davies then. Can he take back provisional pole position? Luke has been on pole in night races around street circuits before. Took pole in Singapore once. Here comes Luke Davies. He's not going to be back on pole here in Las Vegas. Lewis McWilliam is going to have his say as well. He's improving by not enough to take pole. What about Leroy Vinchendel? What can he do? Next across the line is going to be the Haas of Enrique, but he is not actually starting, or he is starting a lap, not finishing one I should say. Behind him is going to be Leo Toole, who's improving by 0.7 of a second. Bit of a slide out of the final braking zone, but let's see what the Irishman can do. Scored a podium in Paul Ricard. Excellent race, that one. Leo Toole is going to improve by 0.3 of a second and go to 10th. It's going to be the Alfa Romeo of Yafan Panguru, who actually dives into the pit lane. He's not going to complete the run. Andrew Davis is getting ready to start a lap as well, so we will see what he can do. Yellow flag in sector number 3. I think it is just cars backing up. Lewis McWilliam. No, Lewis into the pit lane. I wonder, has the Scotsman been obstructed in some way there? He's no front wing, actually, so he has made a mistake. He has no front wing, so Lewis McWilliam not getting his second lap in, but we know he can deliver. No Habib McCook tonight, unfortunately. He got called into work, seemingly, so that's unfortunate for Habib. He was supposed to be in the Alfa Romeo. He was actually replacing Lewis McWilliam for one point. Lewis went on a mid-Saturday golf trip, but that didn't suffice, or something happened anyways. And he's now racing here this evening. Let's see what Enrique can do then. Kinkiski, if you're not aware of this man, he's been league racing for quite a bit. He is a man who gave me a shot in realistic cars. I came second in an Interlagos race in a racing point. Was very proud of myself. Let's see what Kinkiski can do then, heading in towards the start-finish line. Currently in 8th, and he's always crossed the white line there. That would have been a penalty in the race, but Kinkiski into the pit lane. His name isn't Kinkiski, but a lot of people do know him as Kinkiski. Enrique Perez is his name. Hoping to do better than a certain Perez, I imagine, but currently sits 8th, so that absolutely is better than another Perez. No improvements for Niels Hartl on his lap. What about Andrew Davis? He was improving in the second sector. He's going to jump up to 9th position in towards the top 10. Good lap that from Andrew Davis, improving by 0.2 of a second. Matthew Stotts getting his second run underway. 4 minutes and 44 exactly to go here in qualifying around the Las Vegas Strip for the first time. And then we should have an absolute corker in the race. Aaron McFall now out on circuit. I'm going to assume he's on the soft tyres, but Leroy Vinchendel as well, building up on an outlap. Some drivers coming out a little bit early. Maybe that's to avoid obstructions or yellow flags. I would say red flags. We do have red flags in the race, of course, but not in qualifying, thankfully. Otherwise, we could well be here all week. But Matthew Stotts is on his run. We are keeping an eye. Make sure to get your poll predictions in, of course. Tim Denhire saying the one and only Borbune. Tim and Borbune partnering at Haas Formula 1 for this season. Hello, Kyle, saying he's looking forward to another exciting season of FVR. Kyle, optimistic that the new way of life can provide us with an excellent season. Of course, remember, in terms of our points system, it is still the same, 21 maximum. It is 20 for the race win and 1 for the fastest lap, 16 for second, and then it is 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, oh my goodness me, 2, 1, all the way down. Matthew Stotts almost into the wall there in his Scuderia Ferrari, but this This Ferrari looks good, you know. Matthew Stott's looking good around this Las Vegas street circuit, and that lap's going to back that one up. He goes to 5th, just behind Leroy Vinchendel, and just ahead of Enzo King. So good lap there from Matthew Stott. Another improvement. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer finally getting back to a little bit of pace here. He's gone up to 8th, 1.2 off that pole lap, and does belong to the Belgian of Thomas Main. Leroy Vinchendel getting on his way. He's heading down the back straight. Or I shouldn't say the back straight, more the second straight, heading down to the braking zone of turn number 5. It's the right-hander, and then it's in through 6, then a little bit of a itsy-bitsy chicane through 7 and 8. There's his teammate Thomas Main pulling out of the way. Thomas, you should have kept going, giving him a slipstream. That's how teammates work. But Leroy Vinchendel heading through there. That looks good from Leroy. Nice job by the Dutchman. Of course, it is Thomas and Leroy partnering for this season in Aston Martin. Aston Martin with an absolutely chronically bad season last time out in season number 9, and Andrew Davis is out of qualifying. That's in the pit lane, so he wasn't going to get out again, so he has just retired the car. It'll be a maximum start of 10th here in the season opener for Andrew Davis. But in case you didn't realise, I don't think this race is going to be decided by who's on pole. It is a high-speed street circuit, and none of the drivers really know. I'd love to give you my opinions on what this race could go like, but none of us have really seen a race around this Las Vegas Strip, especially with these drivers, with this bunch. Let's see what Vinchendel can do then. Minute and 47 to go here in qualifying for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Leroy Vinchendel is going to improve, but he will stay in 4th position. Next across the start-finish line is going to be the Alpine of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. He is not on a lap. What about Leo Toole? Is he on a competitive run here? I don't think so. No, he isn't. It seems like these drivers are all just getting ready for one final shootout here at the Las Vegas Strip, as well as Maurice Stumer. So that is Matthew Stotts, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer out of the session. They weren't going to get another lap in. Enrique Perez improving, or he wasn't improving actually, he was slightly down heading into the second sector. Let's see what Perez can do heading into the 3rd sector. Make sure to keep an eye on these guys at the top as well. Lewis McWilliam, Luke Davies and Thomas Main. Thomas, monster first sector. He's found almost 3/10 of a second. Running well and tracking well is Thomas Main. Luke not finding as much. 0.058 up heading into the second sector. He's going to be the first of the 3 to complete their laps. Let's see Lewis McWilliam's first sector. We should be getting the split any second now, heading in towards the left and the right. We got to get used to where the sectors are on this track. I believe it's on the exit here, as that is Joao Victor, who will play no further part. We'll wait and see Lewis McWilliam's sector time. Luke's made a mistake. Luke is down. What about Thomas Main? He's getting a slipstream from his teammate Leroy Vinchendel. Thomas, has he lost an awful lot of time? Oh, apologies, he hasn't lost an awful lot of time. It's this second sector is an absolute monster. Thomas has lost an awful lot of time, though. Thomas was tracking for improvement. Luke into the pit lane. It won't be a pole story for Luke Davies, as here comes Thomas Main heading through the final corner. Can the Belgian secure pole position with a monster final sector? He got a slipstream off his teammate Leroy Vinchendel. Heading through 17 now. Flat to the line. Thomas Main doesn't improve. It's all down to Lewis McWilliam, who's throwing up monster sector times. He's improving by 4/10 in the second sector. The Scotsman, he leaves it late, but is it gonna be another Lewis McWilliam masterclass? He's on pole for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. 1:30.8. Excellent time from the Scotsman. Leo Toole went to 4th as well. What about Enzo King? He's gonna be one of the few coming towards the start finish line. Maurice Stumer not gonna improve. What about Borbune? He's improving by 4/10 of a second. A Constructors champion now is Borbune after season 9. Here comes Bohr to the line. It's gonna be 7th for the Dutchman. What about Enzo King, as he kept it clean for the final chicane? We saw him slightly improving. Can he get the second Mercedes up closer to the first one? He will not. It won't be a time improvement or positional improvement for him. Nils Hartel was improving, but I think he's made a mistake, and Enrique Perez not improving either. Yathan Panguru finding time. He could do with finding a little bit more of it than 3/10 of a second. Here comes Yathan then heading through the final corner. Panguru will improve by 3/10 of a second. Won't be a positional improvement. And it's like we never left. 3-time world champion Lewis McWilliam is on pole for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Race results will be coming up, or race results, we haven't even did the race yet. Qualifying results will be coming up shortly, folks. What a very good effort that is from Lewis McWilliam. A 130.8. The pace has not left at all, and Lewis still looking at his best, isn't he? A 130.851. He's the only man in the 30s. Everyone else didn't dare leave the 31s, and the Scotsman takes pole for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. As I wonder what way Lewis and Thomas have set up the cars, as we will get the full quality results now, the full confirmation. I wonder what way Thomas and Lewis have set up the car. Has Thomas gone more for race trim and corners, which sometimes he is inclined to do, or is it all just purely pace? Lewis McWilliam on pole for the Las Vegas Grand Prix with a pole time of 1:30.850. Thomas Main in second, the Belgian. That's going to be an interesting one in towards the first corner. Luke Davies then in third, followed by Leo Toole in fourth. Leroy Vinchendel with what might actually be a personal best in qualifying in fifth. Matthew Stotts in sixth position, followed by Borbjorn in seventh. Enzo King in eighth. Nils Hartl in ninth, and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, the final man in the top 10. It's then Enrique Perez, Andrew Davis, Aaron McFall, Morris Stumer, Adrian Teicher, Joao Victor, and Yafan Penguru in 17th. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back shortly for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. It's race time here in Las Vegas. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Formula Virtual Racing Season 10, sponsored by our title sponsor, Simulus Clothing. We will have an advertisement eventually for Simulus Clothing, but we're waiting on product mock-ups. Anyways, it is formation lap time here on the Las Vegas Strip, and what a qualifying we had. It is a very interesting tyre choice, actually. As you can see, it is hards for Lewis McWilliam, mediums for Thomas Main, meaning Thomas you would be inclined to think the Belgian will get the better launch off the line. How'd you like our new intro video, by the way? If you enjoyed it a lot, make sure to go watch the YouTube video itself. We uploaded it as its own entity, so you can go watch that yourself. But in terms of strategy, does anyone actually have a clue? Because I certainly don't. We don't really know how these guys are going to manage their tyres, how the tyres will degrade, but it seems to be a simple hard medium. I imagine the hard runners will be looking to do 15 laps and the mediums will be looking to do 10. It's a very Saudi Arabia-esque strategy, and it's a track very similar to Saudi Arabia, the Jeddah Corniche circuit, of course. But it is McWilliam on the hards. He starts on pole position, looking to become not only the first ever four-time champion in Formula Virtual Racing, but also the most experienced driver technically in Formula Virtual Racing history. There's your strategy on the bottom now. It's going to be a 12 to 16 lap stint for the mediums, but I wouldn't ever go by that, because league racers have a mind of their own. Lewis looking to become the man with the most appearances in Formula Virtual Racing and overtake Chloe Glennon, the Williams driver for this season. Thomas Main in second position. He wants to win a Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers title. He's not won a World Drivers title in FVR ever, but he's always been at the top of the pack. And then this man, he had his best season to date in the season 9, one of his best performances to date the last race before this one in Brazil, but it just wasn't enough, unfortunately, to crown himself world champion. He's up against one of the most consistent drivers in Formula Virtual Racing history. He's got a lot to do. As Ferrari straight on, Matthew Stotts into the wall. We have Lee O'Toole in 4th. It's then Leroy Van Schendel on the mediums, as well as Matthew Stotts, Borbune on the hards, and everyone else on the mediums, down to Yafin Panguru on the hards. Oh boy, have we been waiting for this moment where we have not quite 20, but 17 drivers line up on a Formula Virtual Racing grid to start another season of FV. Who is that ass? That is a poor attempt at parking, I'm afraid. I believe that is, Enrique Perez. As we are lined up on the grid. No, we're not. We're still waiting on who else but Aaron McFall. As he's going to try and pull into his grid slot. It's a very awkward grid here in Las Vegas. The preparations have all happened. And we go racing here in Las Vegas. That's a very good launch there from Lee O'Toole in 4th, but Thomas Main has got an absolute terrible launch on the line, and oh my goodness me, there's 5 cars out of the race, and we've only just made turn number 1. Safety car here. That is not the start a lot of people would have wanted. Joel Victor, Enzo King, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Enrique Perez, and Morris Stumer all out of the race. What's happened there? That's not gone well at all. Andrew Davis facing the wrong way. There's cars in the wall, and Andrew Davis is reversing up the racing circuit. It's all gone wrong very early on. Thomas got a terrible launch. Luke Davies getting him off the line. Lewis McWilliam is in 1st, and I believe we are going to have some form of a restart there, because it seemed like everything went very wrong, and yeah, I believe we're going to have a restart there, folks. That's not the best way to start the season, but oh, hold on. It seemed like we've had multiple brake failures because of that. It was only a virtual safety car. We're still in the safety car, but folks, we haven't got an in-game red flag. We've got one like the old one. We're going to go for a restart and try this again, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back as quick as possible. I will keep you updated. But yeah, hopefully we will be back in a couple of moments. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Formula Virtual Racing. Would it be an FVR race without a load of issues? No, I'm joking. We're here, everything should be fixed, we're going to have no formation lap, and we should be able to go racing. What the issue was, it wasn't actually 6 DNFs before turn number 1, it was 6 disqualifications. We just had a load of people disqualified, and also Nils Hartl had a brake failure. So that is what happened. But we are ready once again on the Las Vegas Strip. As Thomas is complaining it's day. That's not daytime to me. But we should be ready to go racing. Here we go then. 4, 5 red lights. And we go racing here in Las Vegas, a lot more successfully this time. FVR Season 10 is underway, and it's a brilliant launch from Thomas Main in towards turn number 1, a lot better than the first time round. McWilliam has to run wide, heading in towards the left-hander. Thomas Main leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix, heading through turn number 3 and 4. Excellent run by him. McWilliam tucks into the slipstream. All 17 have made it through the first part of the track, which is a lot better than the first time round. Here comes McWilliam, then back up the inside, heading into the left-hander. Thomas, he's shoved a bit wide and just about avoids the wall. Luke with a little nick on the front left corner, it seems, but it looks like he's okay and damage free. McWilliam back in the lead of a Formula Virtual race. Big slide in there. There's someone gone straight on. It's Lee O'Toole who's gone straight on across the chicane. He has to rejoin safely. Has Leroy Van Schendel on his inside, but he's fallen back into line. No positions gained, no positions lost for Lee O'Toole, apart from the one he had originally lost anyways. He is one spot down, and we have a virtual safety car. That is going to be Enrique Perez, who has completely completely lost his front wing. We have a virtual safety car here on lap number 1 of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Will it be upgraded or not? Do not know, but we are off. Formula Virtual Racing Season 10 has successfully started, and Lewis McWilliam leads the opening lap of the season. Briefly, while we're under virtual safety car, there is your tyre choices, slightly different. The drivers did have free choice from the initial start, and you can see slightly different tyres there. Thomas still going for his mediums, but Luke actually going for the hards now, and you can see Niels Hartl and Morris Stumer both going for the softs in typical Aaron McFall style. Kinkiski has left. Oh no, apologies, that's Enzo King who has left the session. Hopefully Enzo can join back. Your biggest gainer in the opening lap is Niels Hartl. He is up 6 spots. He's up 3 spots to 6th, I should say. Other than that, no real big gainers. It's a very long virtual safety car here. Hopefully we can get going pretty soon. That is unfortunately Enrique Perez, 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And oh, look at this drama from the offset. Lewis McWilliam, race leader, picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding on the virtual safety car. And oh, there's major issues here. What's happened to Lewis? It seems like he's had some sort of issue. Lewis dropping places fast. He's picked up the drive-through as we head into the middle sector. The world champion is having problems in the free wide here. Oh no, this is gonna go wrong. Somehow no one into the wall. What's happened to Lewis McWilliam? He's losing spots. He's losing them quickly, and he's got a drive-through penalty for his troubles. Leroy Van Schendel also has a penalty. Lewis trying to charge on. Leroy Van Schendel now losing positions. We're very unsure what has happened to the world champion, but he is losing spots, and he is losing them fairly quickly. Lewis McWilliam down to 4th on the hard tyres. Seems like he's recovered okay. It was a horrible lap 2 for the Mercedes. Thomas Main now leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix by 1.4 seconds. Here comes Lewis. He's back on the charge. The car is okay. Bit of a nick there off the Williams, and it looks like Lewis McWilliam is going to take the position successfully. He's back up onto the podium, but does have to serve a drive-through penalty in the next 3 laps. Dramatic stuff from Lewis. I'm not sure if the drive-through just flustered him, or if there was some issue for Lewis picking up that drive-through, and you can see all through there. Awful corner, that one for the drivers. Lewis is going to dive straight into the pit lane to serve this drive-through and minimise the damage. It's going to be tough work from here if the world champion wants to win this Grand Prix, but he'll soldier on. Gap now 1.4 at the top. Matthew Stotts putting Leo Toole under a lot of pressure. The Irishman versus the American. Jurgensmar gets past Van Schendel. Van Schendel, I think, having a bit of damage somewhere on the car. It doesn't look like it's front wing, but he might have damage somewhere. Definitely not affecting his exit at turn number 4. There goes Van Schendel. Yellow flag in the first sector. That seems to be a Red Bull Racing car. Or no, it's João Victor actually, who has spun. The Brazilian making a mistake. They're one of very few Brazilians to drive here in Formula Virtual Racing. Van Schendel now 5th. Jurgensmar in 6th. And oh, there's a car gone round there. That's Andrew Davis who's gone round. Not sure. Oh no, that was almost very wrong. Thankfully, the ghosting system has kicked in nicely. Andrew Davis, with unfortunately the world's slowest 3-point turn, gets his Alpine back going. And this isn't for the faint-hearted, is it? This is not for the faint-hearted. Aaron McFall making up good spots, attacking Borbune now. AlphaTauri running in 8th and 9th position. We're red flag free, meaning it's gone a lot more successfully than I thought. Red flags are enabled, of course, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get one. There goes Aaron McFall heading through, and there goes Borbune on Jonathan Jurgensmar, and the virtual safety car has come out for what exactly? I'm not too sure. Is there any car off anywhere? We've got a full course yellow, so we can't really identify it, but the virtual safety car has come out here on the Las Vegas Strip. It's been a pretty hectic race start, I think, as we have some people into the pit lane. We have Matthew Stotts and we have Leroy Van Schendel. Van Schendel, I think, is going to get a wing change here. Stotts is not going to get a wing change. Is Van Schendel? No, he's gone for a fresh set of tyres, so there was no damage on Leroy's car. Andrew Davis making it into the pit lane. And João Victor is looking to just catch up. Morris Stumer, 5 seconds for speeding into the pit lane. That is the man in the Red Bull, replacing Liam Houseman for this evening. But Thomas Main This race couldn't have started much better, actually, for him. He's leading by 3 seconds over Luke Davies. He's on a better compounded tyre, but obviously has to run the hard towards the end of the race, and Luke Davies will get on the quicker medium, but I've seen worse race starts from people, so Thomas has got to be very happy with that. He's actually lost a bucket load of time there. He's lost 8/10 of a second, 9/10 of a second to Luke Davies because of the positioning of the virtual safety car. But Luke flicks it through the left-hander, and Thomas Main now has a 2-second lead. So Luke has cut that down by 1 second. Excellent stuff from Lightning Luke. It was true, none of his own doing. It was all down to the virtual safety car. This is going to be a dogfight, isn't it? It's two Alpha Tauris versus Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in the Alpine, and it looks like, unfortunately, poor Borbune could be a bit sitting duck here. He's no DRS. Look at Jurgensmeyer going for the outside. McFall closes the gap, but Jurgensmeyer got to be careful, because if he backs off too early, Niels Hartl will absolutely take that spot, and Hartl with a wobble out of turn number 16. Here comes Jurgensmeyer then looking to attack Aaron McFall once again, the rookie of the season versus the man who was the Wonder Kid for a long time. Look at Jurgensmeyer going for the inside. McFall with a late defensive move allows Jurgensmeyer to get the outside as the Alpine just about trying to go round Aaron. Had a snap, and that snap from Aaron made Jurg back off, and it allowed Niels Hartl through, but Hartl has a slide on the exit of the corner. Hartl somehow keeping it on the racing surface. There is minimal grip around this brand new facility here on the Las Vegas Strip, and these drivers are really feeling the effects of that, it seems. There is not a lot of grip. These cars have not rubbered this in, of course. It is a video game, but in real life there's never really a lot of grip around new surfaces, of course. New street surfaces more. Do you remember the story of Istanbul Park, where they had to get local drivers around, local drivers down to the circuit to rubber in the circuit after qualifying, as Tim Den Hire cheering on his teammate Borbune, as did Jurgensmeyer just hit the wall there? To be fair, I think a lot of these drivers would have hit the walls, as it's been more reminiscent of an open lobby rather than a high league race. Once again, folks, though, I would like to remind you to check out our title sponsors for this season, Simulus Clothing. They will be providing an FVR line of merchandise, and as well sponsoring a trophy for our Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers Champion. And they will be prominent on all our broadcasts this season. That's a yellow flag in sector number 2. It is for Joel Victor, who has made a mistake heading through what looks to be turn number 12, I want to say. Yeah, I think Joel Victor has gone on through turn number 12 there. That seemed to be where he was exiting from. But lap 6 out of 25. It's been a weird one so far. Lewis McQuillian led the opening phase. By phase, I mean 1 lap, and then picked up that drive-through penalty, which he did have to serve. He's recovered to 9th so far, and it's a yellow flag through sector 1 once again. We're currently looking at the 2 Alpines versus Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, and Adrian Teiche is going to get past the other AlphaTauri. I was trying to say the 2 AlphaTauris versus Jurgensmeyer, but it's actually Borbune, McFall and Jurgensmeyer now. Niels Hartl has dropped off, and it seems like Hartl having some tyre troubles on that soft compound of tyre. He's got to just work that a little bit better, try save the tyres. But the soft tyre does look absolutely beautiful on that AlphaTauri. Fits the colour scheme really well, as... Oh, hold on a second. Joel Victor is out of the race. Adrian Teiche has disconnected. I thought we were going to have a multiple of problems, but look at this. Look at Lewis McWilliam trying to get past Niels Hartl, get past his old teammate pretty quickly. That's because Adrian's disconnected. But heading in towards the left and the right-hander. Has someone gone straight on? It's Niels Hartl who's gone straight on. You could see that coming from a mile away. Niels Hartl goes straight on, and Lewis McWilliam will take 7th place once again in this race. Oh, look at this. This is just a slipstream fest heading down towards the left-hander, Jurgensmeyer and McFall. McFall and Jurgensmeyer bumping wheels in towards the left-hander and the right-hander. It's got to be Aaron McFall who comes out on top. This circuit suits McFall's more aggressive driving really well, and he's doing well in this one. He's up to 4th ahead of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, but Jurgensmeyer and Bune will fight back in this one. Of course, this is going to be a race of attrition. I think it's got to be pretty reminiscent of the Netflix series Drive to Survive. That's Leo Toole. That's Leo Toole who's had an issue. He was in 3rd spot. Now he's fallen into this little bit of a peloton pack here, and Leo Toole is having some major problems. Into the wall goes Leo Toole, damaging his front wing, somehow surviving in the race. I thought that was a definite safety car. It's a virtual safety car. Somehow all 4 tyres have survived on that Williams. That was a really weird accident. He just tried to keep the throttle pinned. I'm not too sure what Leo Toole was trying. he definitely tried to keep the throttle fully pinned through that whole sort of half-spin moment, and it ended up him being literally caught by the safety net of the wall. And speaking of safety, the safety car has come out for the first time here in Formula Virtual Racing Season 10, powered by Simulus Clothing, and it is now going to spice up this race a little bit. Surely we're going to see everyone into the pit lane. Thomas Main leading this one on the mediums. He will be happy about this. And folks at home, would you like to know why Lewis McWilliam received his drive-through penalty? Well, I'll tell you. It was because he was on his phone. That's why you don't text and drive, kids. Lewis McWilliam received his drive-through penalty because he was on his phone, and that is definitely why you do not text and drive. But Thomas Main into the pit lane. Luke Davies is going to follow. And will Jonathan Jurgensmeyer? We will have to see. But all into the pit lane for sure here on lap 7 out of 25. It's going to be fresh mediums for Davies, so he's going to do the 2-stop. I imagine Luke is hoping there's going to be another safety car in this race, which I think he's within his rights to assume. I think you'd all agree at home. Oh god, Aaron's gone for the softs. So Aaron McFall going for the soft tyres, purely for chaos reasons, I presume. It's going to be hards for Thomas, mediums for Luke. It's going to be hards for Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in 3rd. It's going to be mediums for Borbune in 4th. It's going to be mediums for Lewis McWilliam as well in 5th, and then it's hards for Leroy Van Schendel in 6th. Aaron McFall has gone for the soft tyres, with Leo Toole going for the hards in 8th. Then in 9th position, it's Yathan Panguru who's gone for the mediums, as well as the Mercedes behind of Enzo King, who has gone for the mediums. Matthew Stotts, I don't believe, has made a pit stop in this window. Adrian Teich's AI has gone for the softs. Niels Hartel and Andrew Davis on mediums and hards, and then at the back it is going to be Enrique Perez who's gone for the mediums, and Morris Stumer on the mediums as well. Joel Victor is the first man out of the Grand Prix here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as the Mercedes safety car leads us round for hopefully a swift restart. Well, what we can only hope is a swift restart. That doesn't necessarily mean it will be one, but hopefully we can see it all gets away cleanly. Aaron telling Jurgensmeyer to settle down. Aaron telling Jurg, and I mean not in a hypothetical sort of way, literally telling Jurgensmeyer that he is quicker than him, slow down. As you can see Lando Norris on one of the screens in the background. There is a lot of screens in Las Vegas. I don't know how my capture card isn't absolutely cooking with all the graphics, but doesn't this Las Vegas circuit just look absolutely beautiful? It looks stunning. As you can see, all the F1 drivers on the left hand side. These FVR drivers are much better. Well, Enrique Perez, unfortunately, reminiscent of Sergio Perez maybe at the minute, but here on his Formula Virtual Racing debut, he will be looking to do that a little bit better. We do have a big bunch of reserves here this evening. We hopefully in future races we'll have more of the main drivers. We're missing Houseman, Pastilli, Marsh as well. We were supposed to be missing McWilliam, but he's made it, and currently in 5th position after serving his drive-through and making one pit stop in this Grand Prix. We will see how many pit stops people have done, although I assume it's mostly one, and you can see Van Schendel actually has made 2. Of course, we saw he pit under the virtual safety car, as well as King and Stotts, and then Davis, Enrique and Stumer. And then in terms of time penalties, it's 3 for Van Schendel and 5 for Niels Hartel. Positional change. Let's have a look at this then. The biggest gainer here in the season opener so far is 8 for Yathan Panguru. 7 for Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Your biggest loser then in this one is actually Matthew Stotts, who's down to 11th. He's lost 5 spots in this Grand Prix. Safety car will be in this lap. I think I can safely predict that one. Let's see, will we get going? And you can see all the restaurants there to the right-hand side. There's a Las Vegas boutique there. I wonder will any of the drivers take a visit to that after. Let's have a look. There is Plaza Express. We have Hotel Amusements Restaurant. There's Bill Nowick in the chat saying he's actually been to one of them. The building next to the final chicane has a Fire Mexican spot inside. I'm going to assume Fire Mexican spot means a good place for Mexican food and not where Helmut Marko is sending Sergio Perez at the end of the Formula 1 season. Okay, yeah, I knew there was something coming like that, Bill. Safety car in this lap then. Thomas Main will get us underway for the first time in FVR Season 10 here from under the safety car. And the first time on F123. It's a new game, and hopefully it is going to be a very exciting season. Thomas backing up Luke Davies, who's not as much of a young prodigy as he was. Luke, of course, celebrating his birthday during the week, as well as myself, of course, as well as Thomas. But here comes Thomas Main, getting ready, and we go racing once again here in Formula Virtual Racing Season 10, round number 1. It's a good restart from Thomas Main, but Luke Davies has not really fallen away from him too much. Lewis getting attacked by Borbune around the outside, it seems, as well as Aaron McFall and Leroy Van Schendel as they funnel in towards turn number 3 and 4, all safely through here by the looks of things. Luke Davies looking to attack Thomas Main here in the 10th lap of proceedings. Here comes the young Brit heading in towards turn number 5 in the background. Lewis attacking Luke's old teammate Borbune. Luke Davies leads here in Las Vegas. An excellent move by the young man who takes the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix here in Nevada. An excellent move from the McLaren. It was fairly due to the slipstream, but it was a good move nevertheless. Look at Aaron McFall and Lee O'Toole. Lee, of course, smashing into that left-hand wall on the exit of turn number 3, and Lee O'Toole looking to funnel in behind Aaron McFall now. Or no, apologies, the other way around. Aaron looking to funnel in behind Lee. Look at Aaron trying it around the outside. Aaron McFall not taking any prisoners here in Las Vegas, and they made contact. Oh, he might be being sent to the prison after that one. Aaron McFall, and oh, this whole car's gone off in the background. It's chaos here at the back of the pack. Caution in the second sector. That is for a yellow flag, and it looks like it was Nils Hartl and Enrique Perez. Nils, unfortunately, seems to be having some sort of issues with his brakes or with his traction or something, because there's a lot of issues into that corner. Here comes Enzo King looking to attack Lee O'Toole. It is King up the inside of the Williams. Enzo in his old team attacking his old team. Enzo won his first Grand Prix for Williams Racing in Azerbaijan. Borbune overtaking Jürgensmeyer. Luke Davies leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix by 0.3 of a second. It's Enrique Perez who's gone off in the background. Morris Stumer as well. This is action-packed here on lap number 11. Lee O'Toole trying it round the outside of Enzo King, and this is an audacious send up the inside, but King just trying to hold it round the outside. Lee leaves him the space, and Enzo King looking to just get past the Williams Racing machine. Enzo on the outside, Lee on the inside. Nils Hartl out of the Grand Prix. Enzo just about avoiding the wall there as Lee O'Toole keeps it on the inside. Fantastic racing from Lee O'Toole and Enzo King as they head into the left-hander. Very clean stuff. Luke Davies has pulled a big gap there in that first sector. He leads the race by a second. He is on the better tyres, but does have to make at least one more pit stop in this Grand Prix, whether a safety car comes out or not. Luke is going to be banking that we get another safety car in this Grand Prix, and maybe even a red flag from his point of view. Here comes Stumer looking forward around the outside of Andrew Davis, but he's going to have to sit behind just for now. Davis running steady in 11th, but not really the best results. Of course, not a point scoring. 1-0! Van Schendel and Bune into the wall and out of the race. The safety car has come out. Borbune has gone on the second longest point scoring streak in his FVR career. He won't be doing another one this season. Silly accident with Leroy Van Schendel, and that is Borbune out of the race, and understandably so. We go under safety car. Haas will not have a double points finish, won't even have a double finish here in FVR Season 10 round number 1. The safety car is out, and first man into the pit lane is going to be Leroy Van Schendel. I imagine there's going to be a post-race stewards penalty coming for Leroy, because that was more than likely his fault. Of course, we can't really judge it once, but unfortunately, that is looking like it's going to be Leroy's Leroy's fault. And we go under safety car. Luke Davies going to be leading another few laps here. What's Luke going to do? He's going to dive into the pit lane for his set of hard tyres. He's not ran them. He's not ran them in this Grand Prix. Thomas Main has ran both. He's completed his mandatory compound change. So it looks like it's getting brighter here in Las Vegas. It's supposed to be getting darker, but it looks like it's getting brighter. But yeah, Tim Denhire saying, what a dirty move by Van Schendel. Should be a race ban. Tim, of course, affiliated with the Haas team. He is the other Haas main driver. Bill Noack, who I think is he maybe still the AlphaTauri team principal. Not entirely sure, but he might still be. Look who snuck his way back into third position, by the way. Lewis McWilliam, just keeping himself out of any more added trouble as we go past the Hotel Amusements restaurant. And beside the screens, there is places. There's the Hotel Plaza to the right-hand side, and there's the Eiffel Tower. But back to a racing perspective, what's Luke going to do? He's got to think this one through. Does he pull into the pit lane, or does he stay out and try to lead this Las Vegas Grand Prix a little bit longer before completing his mandatory tyre change? If he pits now, he's going to the back. Maybe not literally the back, because Matthew Stotts has pit as well. I mean, he's staying out, he's committed to it, because he's gone past the pit entry. Is this more trouble with Kinkiski? No, this is Van Schendel coming back into the pit lane, so Leroy is trying the old do a lap on the softs and go back onto your other compound strategy. Or else he maybe went on the wrong tyres, who knows? Oh no, it's a wing change, so they obviously didn't change his wing. So Leroy Van Schendel going for a wing change and a 4-lap old set of hard tyres. We're halfway through the race, by the way, folks. I know it's not seemed like that, but we are halfway through the race. Hopefully we can get a good run of green flag running. Of course, the last race here on Formula Virtual Racing's YouTube channel was the Indianapolis 250, and we certainly didn't get lots of good green flag running. We did get a stint of 25 or so, but yeah, hopefully we can get a good little section of green flag running. It is getting brighter, by the way, here in Las Vegas. I'm not seeing things. It is a night race, or supposed to be. But yeah, it's actually going to be on a Saturday night. I know we always race on a Saturday night, but in real life, it is going to be on a Saturday night, is the Las Vegas Grand Prix. That is early Sunday morning for Europeans. But hopefully we can go green flag racing here in Las Vegas by the end of this lap. I once again invite you to check out our sponsor, Simulus Clothing. You can check their link in the description. Our Formula Virtual Racing line will be out hopefully soon, but myself and the guys at Simulus are very excited for the partnership. We're going to be bringing good stuff to you folks at home. And if you're enjoying the action here in Formula Virtual Racing, make sure to pop a subscription on the YouTube channel for more races. We're going to be racing practically every Saturday, and if there is a break week, you will be absolutely well informed. How does Luke Davies play this safety car restart then? He's got to just pull a gap. And you can see the man who got pole position in Formula 1 today. He was there on the right hand side. No, it wasn't Nico Hülkenberg. Yes, it was Lewis Hamilton. This young Brit is looking to repeat the results maybe of the slightly older Brit. No offence to Lewis Hamilton. But let's see how Luke Davies plays this then. He's just weaving to get a bit of tyre temperature. He needs to get it in that medium compound. But the one thing Luke knows is Thomas is going to struggle a lot more with tyre warm up than he is. Here we go then, we are just getting ready. And now we go racing once again here in Las Vegas. Good restart from Luke Davies. Good restart from Lewis McWilliam in third. He's kept nip and tuck with the Aston Martin in front. You can see an Alfa Romeo Yathan Penguru trying a move in the background. He was actually defending from Andrew Davis, who's gone the long way round through what is almost like a carousel corner, like the carousel of Watkins Glen, which is of course in the New York state, not quite here in Nevada. Heading down towards turn number 5. Look at this, good attack from Adrian Tisha on Andrew Davis, or Adrian Tisha should say, on Andrew Davis. Late braking manoeuvre for Adrian. He's got the job done, and oh, it's Enzo King parked at the wall. Enzo King has parked it in the wall. Very unfortunate for Enzo. Mercedes have not had a clean race here in Nevada, and Enzo King is the man who unfortunately is caught up this time. Luke Davies leads by 0.8 of a second. Further back, the battle here is still going on between Adrian Tisci and Yathan Panguru. Adrian clean around the outside. Adrian Tisci up to 6th position. The Canadian, the only Canadian here this evening, no Pastilli, doesn't go too hot into that corner, is not bumped by Yathan Panguru. Someone's gone straight on. I believe it could be Enrique Perez once again. And look at Lewis McWilliam. Lewis McWilliam is up and past Thomas Main. Remember, Lewis does not have to make another pit stop. Neither does Thomas. Luke Davies does. He's gone medium. He's not done the mandatory compound change that is required in Formula Virtual Racing and in Formula 1. The game will disqualify him, not even us. We won't get the satisfaction of doing it. The game will, but he's got to make another pit stop then. I imagine Luke hoping for another safety car. Something's happened. Andrew Davis, he's had a poor run and is now being attacked by Yathan Panguru. Matthew Stott's getting all out of shape, heading through 17. Or 16, I should say. As Yathan Panguru looking for a move there on Andrew Davis. Remember, this is going to be a little bit of a messier race, being the season opener. And as I say that, Andrew Davis clobbers the wall. Morris Stumer runs up the gearbox of Yathan Panguru, and Aaron McFall hits the wall, and it looks like Van Schendel was involved in that as well. There is no sights of a front wing on board the Aston Martin of Leroy Van Schendel. He is going to have to recover this, and you can see him there. Oh, there's a car park. There's a car park at turn number 5. It is Matthew Stotts and Enzo King, who unfortunately have ran into even more trouble here in this Grand Prix. I don't think we're going to have 14 cars survive till the end of this Grand Prix, but that's all about this Las Vegas circuit here in Nevada. In the United States, one of two tracks that will feature on Formula, one of two tracks in the United States that will feature here in Formula Virtual Racing will be heading to the Circuit of the Americas in Texas. No trip to Miami for us this season, although Miami could well be back next season in replace of Las Vegas. Here comes Morris Stumer, looking to attack Andrew Davis, heading in towards turn number 14, 15 and 16. Here he goes. Here comes Morris Stumer. It is Andrew Davis on the outside, Stumer in the Red Bull on the inside. Late braking manoeuvre, and that's excellent from Morris Stumer. Nothing wrong with that. That's a 10 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10 for Davis, who exits and slaps the wall on the outside. That corner is an absolute nightmare for these drivers, it seems, as Lewis McWilliam hungry to claw in Luke Davies up top. Here comes Aaron McFall. Late braking move down the inside of Andrew Davis. Is Andrew going to lose 2 corners in about, or 2 positions in about 3 corners? No, doesn't seem to. Defends Aaron McFall successfully. Is Yathan Panguru able to attack Aaron McFall as we head on to the second straight here? It looks like Adrian Tisci has got past Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Adrian is cooking here in Las Vegas. He is cooking up a tasty treat for the Red Bull crew, and Adrian looking to secure some points. That's Yathan out. That's Yathan Panguru out of the race. He's hit the wall and is out of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. No safety car deployed now, and we're going to stay green flag racing actually. So no safety car given. Panguru, the 4th retirement here in Las Vegas. His pace wasn't really at the races today. Pun not intended, but his performance just wasn't really here. He didn't quite have the pace. But you never like to see a driver not finish, and that's a yellow flag again. And there's Andrew Davis. Oh my goodness me. No, hold on. We're going to have to pause it there, because while Andrew Davis is having a bit of a problem at the back, Lewis McWilliam having no issues recovering from that drive-through penalty. Lewis McWilliam leads here in Las Vegas. Nils saying, or commenting on the track while still in... Oh no, he's not in the race, apologies. He has DNF, so Nils Hartl not finishing this one. Here comes Jurgensmeyer looking to attack back Adrian Teichen. No move into turn 1. He's going to try and let Adrian outbrake himself, which has absolutely occurred. And Jurgensmeyer not quite going to get the exit there, but he'll try and get it through turn 3. Luke Davies knows he can't let Lewis get away into the sunset here, but Luke also knows there is 3 very long straights here on the Las Vegas circuit, which he can use the drag reduction system to try and overtake the Scotsman. We are going to just briefly check Luke's race director, and you can see, oh no, apologies, I'm an absolute waffler. Luke started on the hard tyres. He's already made the mandatory compound change. Do apologise for that. Don't know why I thought Luke went medium, but he did. And yes, Luke is going to try and bring his mediums to the end of the race. So Luke doesn't have to make his pit stop change at all. He might if he breaks his wing. That's a mistake from Luke Davies. Not only a mistake from me, but a mistake from Luke Davies. Here comes Thomas Main looking to try and get past the young Brit. It would be a shame if Luke could lose the position in that way. He was looking like he was going to launch an attack on Lewis McWilliam. He's now going to have to sit and think about that one while in third place. And it looks like Lewis is almost home and dry already. He is just relentless, isn't the Scotsman? You can't not concentrate for a split second against Lewis, otherwise he'll capitalise on this. And Lewis now leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix by 1.2 seconds. Oh, yellow flag in sector number 3. That's Aaron McFall who's losing positions, and presumably the man who is tumbling down the order. Here comes Luke Davies, heading and trying to attack Thomas Main. The ERS not really there for either of these, but Davies does have a lot more. You can see the red light flashing on Thomas Main's car, mean he is regenerating energy. Luke's ran a little bit wide of the curb there, but he is ahead. Luke Davies back up to second here in Nevada. Lewis McWilliam not seeming to have the natural pace here to pull away from Luke Davies. There is 1 second gap between. That's a yellow flag behind. It's Lee O'Toole who's gone round. Lee O'Toole who's gone round, heading through turn number 6. And that's not the first time Lee's had some trouble at that corner. Lee O'Toole down to 6, which promotes Adrian Tishy up to 4th position. Excellent stuff from Adrian. He is up to 4th and will be maybe hoping something goes wrong in front, so he can pick up his first podium at a neighbouring country to his native Canada. And down to Lewis has really lost. Has Luke got the DRS? Luke has got the DRS. What an effort by Luke Davies to get back within the DRS here. Just a couple of corners after making a mistake and fall to 3rd. Luke Davies, the man who doesn't have to make his mandatory tyre change, may I add, because he's already made it. And for some reason I thought he started on the mediums. It was Thomas that started on the mediums, not Luke Davies. He started on the mediums in the first race before the restart. We still do have plenty of laps to go in this one though, so don't count out Thomas Main for being able to attack these guys, because Thomas's tyres come the end of this race will be better than Luke and Lewis's. That goes without question. Heading into turn 5, Luke not able to get as close as maybe he would like to. Left-hander and right-hander. Is Lewis maybe backing up Luke here and hoping Thomas is able to attack? Heading out of then the left-hander, this is where Luke is able to get a run. But the problem here is Luke can't just sit behind and wait for the last lap, because if he does that, Thomas Main will absolutely have his place, and he will take 2nd position, braking for the left-hander. Oh, another snap by Luke. That's not the first time Luke Davies has made a mistake in that corner, and is he now going to be vulnerable from the Belgian behind? And Thomas Main looking to attack the McLaren, heading down towards turn number 14. Luke, of course, does have the DRS in the slipstream this time off Lewis McWilliam to help him in this battle. Luke is actually going to turn defence into attack, and the McLaren is going for the race lead here in the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Who breaks the latest? Luke Davies doesn't even need to think about that, because the lightning bolt himself absolutely thunders past Lewis McWilliam, and he leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Lewis with a bit of a mistake. Is this Thomas Main's chance to attack, heading in towards turn number 1. This is probably the first time in a long time we've seen 3 guys like this at such an even pace. Of course, the slipstream and DRS down these back straights will really play into the 2nd and 3rd place drivers' hands. Luke a little bit wide heading through turn number 1 and 2, but in towards turn number 3 he's hooked it together nicely, and he'll get a good exit down towards turn number 5. This section of the track is where Luke seems to be quickest. It's the back section where he seems to just make a few little mistakes and a little bit of wobbles that may cost him in the grand scheme of things. But for now, all good for Luke Davies. And Lewis, he's going to have to play his cards right here. I imagine he'll retake the lead, and we're going to see sort of a sort of like a cycling approach to this one. The Tour de France, of course, is heading to the Champs-Élysées this weekend, and it is looking to finish its year. But it's like cycling, where these guys could work together here and just slipstream past each other. They have an 8.7 second gap to Adrian Tisci, so they don't really have to extend any sort of margin. They can sort of just drive their own races at this point, and they will, without collision, finish 1, 2, 3. But we'll see how this one goes. Look at Lewis McWilliam gaining and gaining and gaining. We're on board with the Scotsman. Luke not going to bother defending this spot, and that's probably the smarter approach in this one, because it does allow him to sit behind for the next straight. And if he plays this right, he can... Oh, Lewis picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I was going to say, if he can play this right, he can force Lewis into a mistake. Lewis has made that mistake before Evan could even get his sentence out. Luke Davies now in second, but on the timing screens, technically in first if they cross the checkered flag on the 25th lap round at this moment. Thomas now sees this penalty and knows he's just got to get past the one car. Lewis sees that penalty and knows, well, if these guys don't get one, I'm pretty buggered here, because he's not going to be able to pull 3 seconds as it stands, because all their pace is pretty equal. And then there is 2 very long back straights that Luke and Thomas do have to their advantage. But what Luke needs to try do here is time it so that he is in second on the 25th lap, because the problem with 3 cars instead of 2 here is you can't really play a DRS game, because the other driver will take your position. But what also could happen here is Thomas Main could get the mother of all slipstreams down towards turn 14, and he could take the both of them on the last lap, which is something I'd love to see. I'd never really wish FVR races away, but I do wish this was the last lap, because it could be very interesting. Hopefully the situation doesn't change. Here comes Luke Davies for the race lead. Here comes Thomas Main. This is exactly what we said could happen. Thomas Main goes for the race lead, the Belgian. He's got past Luke Davies, heading in towards turn number 14. Thomas Main gets the 2 in the 1 and leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Luke looking to just get past the Belgian once again. He doesn't really want to be behind Thomas, because Thomas does not have a penalty, but Thomas's hard tires are going to be in the right place. Lewis is into the pit lane. Lewis McWilliam is into the pit lane. He obviously feels the tyres won't make the end, or does he have damage? Let's see. Is there going to be a wing change here by Mercedes? There is. So Lewis hit the wall, and Lewis McWilliam has received damage in this race, putting Adrian Tisci on the podium here in Las Vegas. What a result that would be for the young Canadian here in the opener of Season 10. This is an absolute classic, and it is brought to you, of course, by Simulus Clothing, which we once again ask you to check out. This is unbelievable stuff. We have lap 22, 23, 24, 25 to go. There's 4 tenths separating 2 men looking to win the Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers' Championship. Lewis has come out of the pit lane in 8th position. He's going to take a fastest lap probably, and it seems like he's been let through by his teammate Enzo King. Adrian Tisci versus Maurice Stumer. Oh no, these two are not very fond of each other, is the best and nicest way I can put it. They're in the same car, and they're both going for the Formula Virtual Racing podium. Maurice has won, Adrian has none. But my goodness me, how dramatic this could be. Now, different approach going to be played here by Luke Davies, I presume. I imagine he's just going to sit behind, just keep an eye on everything, manage everything, not let Thomas canter too far into the wind, and just play his cards right. But we got to keep an eye on both these battles now, because Leo Toole, Maurice Stumer and Adrian Tisci, and Aaron McFall is out of the race. That is Aaron McFall out of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. That is at turn 5. No safety car brought out, but Aaron unfortunately will be adding another DNF to his career statistics, and he will not be finishing this Grand Prix. Luke Davies, 0.7 of a second off Thomas Main. Let's have a look at the ERS, shall we? 29 for Luke, 5 for Thomas Main. That could be a deciding factor here. Look at this, Leo Toole attacking Maurice Stumer. Exactly what Adrian wants would be these two to just tangle together. Stumer on the inside. O'Toole on the outside, heading through turn number 5, all cleanly through there. Gotta say, Lee has put a real gold star beside his name, you could say, for clean performance. And look at Morris Tumer. My goodness me, is that the most awkward overtake ever seen around this Las Vegas circuit? Oh, into the wall goes O'Toole. Stumer sort of bumping him into it by the looks of things. Hopefully Lee O'Toole is okay from a damage front, so we can see this battle roar on. Adrian, I know how Adrian Teicher feels right now. Adrian's nerves are going to be up the absolute wall right now. This is the best chance he's probably ever had in Formula Virtual Racing for a podium. He's just got to drive clean lines. He's just got to drive well. And genuinely, there is nobody in this paddock that would be sad to see Adrian Tisci pick up a podium heading in towards the left-hander of turn 14, 15 and 16. Adrian actually technically is a podium sitter. He got a podium at the Indy 250. But that's obviously not what he wants. He wants an F1 one. But let's not count our chickens too early. We're on the penultimate lap here in Nevada for the Formula Virtual Racing Season 10 season opener, sponsored by Simulus Clothing. Luke Davies just has to sit behind for this one more lap and then launch a charge at Thomas Main. The Belgian looking to win since he last won in Belgium. Luke looking to win a season opener for the second consecutive season. The runner-up on last season's championship, of course, versus the man that left after round 1 of last season's championship, Thomas Main. That being heading through this left-handed, and Adrian Tisci still could be in a spot of bother because it looks like Lee O'Toole and Morris Stuber have caught up, but Adrian and Morris with the two best tyres of the battle here, probably leaning a little bit more towards Morris at this point. But let's see how this one plays out. We've got to focus on, as much as we love Adrian Tisci, we do got to focus on the race lead battle here, and it looks like Thomas Main is going to be the man to lead us on to the last lap of this Grand Prix. That's tactical by Luke Davies, of course. Look, they're grinding to a halt to play the DRS game. They're both barely accelerating out of the final corner because neither of them want to lead. Have you ever seen two racing drivers not want to lead a Grand Prix? They're not even getting out of 5th gear. They're crawling onto the final lap of the race. This is obscene here because neither driver wants to lose the DRS here in the last lap in Las Vegas. Lee O'Toole gets past as Adrian Tisci's fallen to 6th. Oh, poor Adrian has fallen to 6th, meaning something's gone wrong. Look at this. This is obscene. Luke Davies is in 2nd gear in a corner that's almost in about 4th. You've got to speed up. There's more cars in this race than 2. Neither of them want to lead. It's almost at safety car pace here in Formula Virtual Racing. Look at Thomas Main. He didn't want to lead the final lap because he wants the slipstream and the DRS effects. This is the ultimate toy for DRS. This is the ultimate tactical game. And look at this! This is insane! This is the last lap of a season opener, and neither driver wants to lead it! This is crazy! This is madness! Look, Lee O'Toole has caught about 5 seconds in a matter of corners. Neither driver wants to lead. Luke is holding his ground here, and look at Thomas Main accelerating. This is it. We head on to the final straight here in Las Vegas. The lap neither drivers wanted to lead. Lee O'Toole is 2.8 seconds behind. Has Thomas Main played it right? He's driven the slowest final lap in Formula Virtual Racing history. Here comes Luke Davies to take the race lead in Las Vegas. He's left it late. He's somehow held firm. Thomas Main will have the slipstream to the line. It's a last lap swap here in the season opener. It's the craziest of final laps. He won in season 9 in Miami. He's rounding the final corner to win a second season opener in a row. Miami was good. Las Vegas is great. The runner-up is on top in Formula Virtual Racing as Luke Davies wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Lee O'Toole will come home in 3rd. Lewis McWilliam 4th. Adrian Tisci in 5th. Morris Stumer comes home in 6th, smashing his car into pieces across the line. Matthew Stotts comes home in 7th. Enzo King in 8th. Enzo King 9th, Jurgen Meyer will get 8 in the penalty count, Leroy Van Schendel in 10th, and then Enrique Perez in 11th, Andrew Davis will come home in 12th. What have we just witnessed? My God, what have we just witnessed? That is insane. Miltard saying that should be looked at by the stewards. No, it shouldn't. You don't have to drive as quick as you want. That's just usually how racing works, but never have I seen a DRS game that crazy. Leo Toole almost caught them. He genuinely almost caught them. It was 2.8 seconds at one point. It was 11.5 starting the lap, I'm pretty sure. But the British flag is on top of an American podium. Once again, this is Luke's third win on American soil. He won, of course, in Texas. He's won in Miami. And now he's won in Las Vegas. An Indianapolis win for Luke, and he would win on every track we have raced at. That was it fantastic? Yes, it was fantastic. Absolutely was brilliant. Do we ever want to see it again? Probably not, because that was crazy. Thomas Main and Luke Davies didn't want to lead the final lap of the season opener. And context obviously must be provided, but that's the moral of the story. Luke Davies wins. Luke, that's actually the first race of Luke's, I think. Has he? Yeah, that's the first race I've commentated of Luke where he's actually won on track, because I didn't commentate the Singapore race he won. But Luke Davies wins with a race-winning time of 44 minutes and 47 seconds. Thomas Main in second, losing by 6/10. Leo Toole third, Lewis McWilliam fourth, Adrian Tishy in fifth, and it's Mark Stumer sixth, Matthew Stott seventh. It's Jurgensmar, King, Van Schendel, Perez, Davis, and then your non-finishers were McFall, Penguru, Bune, Hartle, and Joao Victor. Unfortunately, we do have... Oh, apologies, they're... Unfortunately, it's a black screen at the moment. I'm not too sure why. There we go. That's a photo of Brazil. That's the wrong thumbnail. That is a mistake thumbnail that Evan made earlier. So if you're interested in... fantastic. We're not going to do any post-race interviews because there is an IndyCar race at Iowa waiting for me on a different TV. But thank you very much for joining us for the season opener of Season 10. That one is going to be one that will be looked back at very fondly, I feel, for quite a time. But thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure once more to check out our title sponsor, Simulus Clothing, as we would love you to do so. I'm lost for words, genuinely. I can't believe what I've just witnessed. So, on that note, stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time and next week, where we return for Formula Virtual Racing Season 10, powered by Simulus. Bye-bye.